Welcome to another session. In this session, we will take a look at what is S4HANA. We'll try to understand a little bit of how S4HANA works, and then we'll also do a comparison of S4HANA with an ECC system. Alright, so let's start with what is S4HANA. S4HANA is a product by the company SAP. It is their next generation ERP system launched in 2015. Now it represents a significant upgrade from the older ERP system that it replaced, which was called the ECC 6.0. Just like a car upgrade, right, which brings in new features and enhances performance, S4HANA brings in improvements and innovative capabilities compared to the older SAP ECC system. Okay, let's look further and let's try to see how S4HANA system works. So we in the earlier session we spoke about ERP and we had a look at the 3-layer diagram, right? So if we fit in S4HANA in the same diagram, you can see we still have the 3 different layers, but if I have to add a little bit of information for each of these layers, the presentation layer of S4HANA, it's called SAP Fiori. It's a user interface that the end user, the business user, they interact with. The application or the logic layer for S4HANA is the software itself, and then the database which is used in S4HANA, it's called HANA. It's a special in-memory database created by SAP from the scratch just for the SAP system. Now that we know what is S4HANA and we also looked at the architecture, it's time to see what's new in S4HANA and how does it compare with the older ECC system. So if you look at the screen, I have kind of divided this comparison into a couple of categories. Let's start with the database. As I mentioned earlier, S4HANA uses a special in-memory database which was designed from scratch by SAP just for this system. And because of this, the new database, it has enhanced data processing speeds. It features quick search capabilities, and it also helps in the enhanced analytics that S4HANA has to offer. Now all of these are a significant upgrade compared to the older ECC system. If we move to a second point of comparison, which is the user interface, we spoke about how Fiori is used in S4HANA as a user interface. So we'll talk about Fiori and SAP GUI a little more in the next session, but for now just understand that Fiori is a modern UI and SAP GUI is a very old traditional method of accessing SAP. It was first designed in 1990s. It's still in use till today. If we move on to our next point of comparison, which is business processes, S4HANA has improved business processes in many places. If I have to take one example, which I mentioned on the slide as well, it had to be from the finance area, which is the business partner concept. If we go back to ECC, we used to have a concept of customers and vendors. So in the older system, customers and vendors were managed separately. You had a separate account for each. Even if one company is both a customer and a vendor, you have to manage it separately. So you need to have 2 records of the same company, which could make things a bit confusing and time consuming. S4HANA has simplified this and introduced the concept of business partners. So business partner is nothing but a unified record. Each company will have a record called business partner, and that same record can be used as a customer or as a vendor. So that kind of simplified both the data maintenance, because now you don't have to maintain the data in 2 places. It improved the consistency, because if you change one record, it automatically changes the another. And then it's also flexible and future proof. Now the last point of comparison is availability. Now we know S4HANA has replaced ECC, but there are still many customers who are using ECC even today. So unfortunately, ECC will only be available till 2027, after which the customers have to upgrade to S4HANA. S4HANA of course is available, and S4HANA is upgraded yearly, and SAP is putting all their efforts in improving S4HANA. There will be no more innovations in the ECC side. In the next session, we will take a look at what is Fiori.